Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Daily Educational Talks. I am Leia Shane Buladaco, your host.
And I am Angelo Abunero, your host. Our topic in today's educational talk are all about the psychology of the Filipino and the positiveness of Filipino values. We all know that the Filipino value system includes an assemblage of consistent. These are the ideologies, moral codes, ethical practices, etiquette, and cultural or personal values. For much information, we invited some teachers coming from different universities to impart us the knowledge and information about our topic today.
Yes, partner. Let me introduce our first guest for this afternoon, who took Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Values Education. He is a teacher from University of Santo Tomas de Manila. We have Mr. Noviker Carlos.
Thank you so much for having me here in your educational talks.
And now, partner, let us welcome our second guest for this afternoon, a values teacher from University of the Philippines, Miss Juliana Micarandayo.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
May I call our third guest, a values teacher from Ateneo de Davao University, Mr. Jeff Ross Patlan.
Thank you for having me here.
And now, partner, let us hear their insights about our Filipino value system for today. Mr. Palin, can I hear your thoughts about what is the importance of Filipino psychology?
Psikolohiyang Filipino main's goal is to promote national identity and consciousness, as well as social involvement and language and culture psychology. As a result, it is interested in how to apply it to health, agriculture, art, the media, religion, and other aspects of people's daily lives.
Thank you, Mr. Palin. Now, can I ask you, Miss Juliana, about this core concept of Filipino psychology?
About this core concept of Filipino psychology, it is the principal emphasis of Psikolohiyang Filipino is to foster national identity, consciousness, and social involvement, and also psychology of language and culture. It is concerned with proper applications to health, agriculture, art, mass media, religion, and other spheres of people's daily life. In addition with that, core value or kapwa, shared inner self, kapwa is the core construct of Filipino psychology.
So, what are those positive values of Filipino?
Okay. According to your question that what are the positive values of Filipino? We all know that there is a lot of positive values of being a Filipino. I have here the family orientation, joy and humor, flexibility, adaptability, and creative, religion adherence, ability to survive, hard work and industriousness, and the last one, which is the most required for to us as a Filipino and a must known for us to be a Filipino, is the hospitality. In family orientation, this is the basic and most important use of a Filipino life is the family. So we all know that positive values of a Filipino give a big impact to us because we as a Filipino we prioritize or we give big values of our attitude.
You mentioned pakikisama. So, what are the positive effects of pakikisama?
So, okay, in your question that you mean pakikisama. So, what are the positive of pakikisama? So, positive pakikisama stops Filipino from maliciously withholding information or knowledge in order to put a fellow Filipino in a difficult situation. So positive pakikisama makes a Filipino realize that if they do anything to hurt a kababayan or a Filipino countryman, they are also hurting themselves by their country or a bayan.
For you, Mr. Palin, what is your insight about the importance of pakikisama?
At work, pakikisama is regarded the most critical aspects in getting a job done correctly. So many Filipinos regard arguing, disagreeing, and being very direct or candid in the West to be a violation of etiquette. So self-esteem is referred to as amor proprio.
Well said, Mr. Palin. Let us hear from Miss Mikarandayo. Why do we need pakikisama, and what are the examples?
Pakikisama, a core characteristic of a Filipino group, harmony and unity is valued. People want to get along rather than stand out. If progress is achieved, it is for the entire group and no one should be left behind. And the examples of pakikisama is, if everyone except you wants to see a movie, but you have responsibilities at home, you have to choose whether or not to neglect your responsibility. It is a hard decision because we Filipinos really care about what others think of us. We even have a name for this dilemma, which is pakikisama.
There are many positive traits and characteristics of Filipino values like hospitality. This is one of the most popular qualities of Filipinos. Second is respect and courtesy. This is often observed not just by younger people, but also by people of all ages. And also, the strong family ties and religions, and also generosity and helpfulness. We all know that the Filipino are generous people. Next is strong work ethics, and lastly is love and caring. How about you, partner? Why is the family is the center of the life of every Filipino?
You know what, partner? For me, family is the best gift that's given to me. Family is considered to be the foundation of social life for most Filipinos, especially in what we call the filial piety. It is an important concept in Filipino culture. It is understood as essential in order to maintain the collective phase of the family and to avoid experiencing hiya, or what we call shame. When we say filial piety, it is an attitude of respect for parents and ancestors in societies. It is influenced by Confucian thought. Filial piety is demonstrated in part through service to one's parents.
Very well said, partner. So, Mr. Saklan, can you say that the Filipino culture is uniquely Filipino?
So, in your question also, that can you say that the Filipino culture is uniquely Filipino? Yes. Filipino culture is unique compared to other ASEAN countries, and beliefs apply every day in the life of the Filipinos and reveal how rich and blessed the culture of the people have. This trait is usually seen during fiestas and holidays, where many Filipinos are giving their best to entertain their visitors well. So, we as a Filipino, we have a very unique way on treating our fellow countrymen, because we as a Filipino, we treated each other as siblings.
Based on your learnings, what are the examples of Filipino culture based on your experience, and how would you describe the Filipino culture?
I can describe a Filipino culture in a way that the Philippines culture is a mix of Filipino and Spanish Catholic traditions as well as it influence from Asia and the United States. Filipinos are devoted to their families and are often devout, but they also like art, fashion, music, and food.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saplan and Mr. Palin. Miss May Carandayo, for you, what kind of person is Filipino and what are the positive Filipino values that are unique from other cultures?
Mga Pilipino are the people who are native to or citizens of the country of the Philippines. Filipinos come from various Austronesian ethno-linguistic groups. Currently, there are more than 185 ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines, each with its own language, identity, culture, and history. In addition to that, the Filipinos are divided geographically and culturally into regions, and each regional group is recognizable by distinct traits and dialects. The sturdy and frugal Ilocanos of the north, the industrious Tagalogs of the Central Plains, the carefree Visayans from the Central Islands, and the colorful tribesmen and religious Muslims of Mindanao. Tribal communities can be found scattered across the archipelago. Compared to other Asian countries and beliefs, apply every day in the life of the Filipinos and reveal how rich and blessed the culture the people have. This trait is usually seen during fiesta and holidays, where many Filipinos are giving their best to entertain their visitors well.
Okay, thank you. All I can say is that Filipino system is unique and interesting.
Well said, partner. Here is the last question before we end this show. To sum up this topic, what can you say about Filipino is hospitable?
Hospitality. This is the most frequent term used to describe how Filipinos, as we are, great foreigners and tourists who come to visit the Philippines. Accepting foreigners as tourists and building genuine relationships and friendships together with them is a delight for Filipinos and an honor for the country. So that's why the Filipinos are very known as hospitable.
Hospitality is so ingrained in us, and it is passed on from one generation to another. It is part of a Filipino value system, and also it is characterized by a heartwarming, generosity, and friendly. A cheerful family would typically be ready to accommodate and spend time with the visitors, and also it is a pleasure and honor for us to build a genuine relationship with them.
So the Filipino is hospitable because this is the common terminology that describes how Filipinos welcome foreigners or tourists who visits our country. So we Filipinos, it is our pleasure and the country's honor to accept foreigners as visitors and build genuine relationships and friendships with them.
Yes! Thank you so much for our dear guest for having us today.
Alright, so thank you very much for sharing your knowledge to us. We are very happy that all of you accept our invitation. For sure, the listeners and viewers learned a lot. Thank you for listening, everyone. See you again tomorrow.
Keep safe and God bless.